Hey folks, so this is a Skillshare course creator tips video. The ideal audience for this video are folks who are thinking about jumping into Skillshare or thinking about jumping into course creation and are looking at Skillshare, which I think of as like the Netflix of e-learning. I was going to share some of the things that I did wrong in the hopes that those of you who are just getting started won't make those mistakes. Not only to share my experience and my bumps and bruises, but those mistakes that I made actually had significant harm to my momentum, because I would put something out there and realize that I had done something wrong, and then it would derail me, right? You put in hours and hours and hours of work into something and then upload it, and then Skillshare says, gives you a content strike or closes your course, and you're like, that was silly. Now, if you're coming to this video and you don't know what Skillshare is, there's a link in the description below. As a teacher, I could give you 2 months free, but you can also go to Skillshare directly, and I think they're giving away 7 days in a trial. But let's talk about the stuff that I did wrong. One of the first things that I needed to have done, and I should have done, was to look carefully at the Skillshare guidelines for courses. Turns out not everything is an ideal course for Skillshare. There are actually certain topics that are not permitted on Skillshare. So for the folks who are on YouTube and who are really immersed in things like passive income and business strategies and getting followers, those topics are not ideal for Skillshare. And so if you upload content and post it without checking the class guidelines, you may find that your content never gets out there and never sees a single student, and you only get 3 shots. So if you get too many strikes, they kick you off the platform. You say, what class topics are not permitted? Well, I'm looking at them right here. Stuff about dating, romance, reselling existing products or services such as drop shipping or MLM, medical content, things about math, biology, chemistry, things that you think, I could teach about stuff that I know, but it turns out they're focusing on skills rather than on general knowledge. They don't want to see fitness or exercise or even about pets, no beauty, and nothing about the medical field. You'll find this especially confusing if you go to the Skillshare library and find courses that are now no longer allowed in the guidelines, such as these ones on mathematics that I just searched for right now. So one of the things I think everyone should do before they go and upload, especially if you only upload sporadically like me, is to go and just double check to make sure that the class guidelines have not been updated since the last time you uploaded, because that is something that happened to me, and that is actually how I got my second content strike, because I made a video about shipping. Honestly, I was thinking of it from the standpoint of a small business owner who was creating physical products in their home, and then they were mailing them out. And at the time, I was really interested in e-commerce. And so shipping, like getting the best deals on shipping, like that's actually an art. And I didn't see anything on the platform about shipping. And I thought, okay, this would be a great course. Turns out it's not. Class guidelines violations is actually how I got my first strike, because I think stumbled into creating a course about passive income business strategies because I posted a course about using this app called Heartbeat. The app itself is about connecting, brands to social media influencers. And I think the focus of the course was too much about how you could make money with Heartbeat rather than how to use it. But yeah, that's how I got my first strike. And then I got another strike again for the shipping e-commerce course. So how else did I go wrong? Well, one of the things that I did was I made a quick 1-minute about me video. So I did the intro video to the course explaining what the course was, and rather than mix in, about me into the intro video, I made a separate about me video. I didn't do a ton of promotion in it, right? I just mentioned that I did A, B, C, and D, that I do YouTube, and then I do podcasting, and I do websites and all the rest. But in the class guidelines, it talks about not needing to have any marketing or self-promotions. So my about me video has gotten by the course reviewers a couple of times, but looking now at the class guidelines, I can see that if I'm going to do this again, that I should only put it in the intro video. You know how I also violated this requirement that you not promo anything about yourself except for in the intro and the outro is I put links to my YouTube channel and to other things that I do in the description of the video. And so that also got me I got in trouble for that too. I don't know that I would have looked at the guidelines about marketing or self-promotion and really thought that my about me video or putting the links in the description of the course were heavy on marketing or self-promotion. But I think that just goes to show you how aggressive they are about making this a Skillshare platform rather than letting it devolve into what YouTube can be, which is all about trying to funnel people into other places, like to Facebook groups or into paid courses or into other things. So I have also got into trouble for quality of the video, and not necessarily from the audio portion, because I feel like I've done a great job since I have the microphone, but they want to see you record in 720p. I mean, the better quality, the better, right? And this is something I don't think that they have actually enforced that heavily until recently, because you can go back and look at the library and there are lots of courses there that you can tell were not recorded with high quality equipment. And I think it just goes to show how much this platform has progressed and how now that there are more people on it, they just want to focus on delivering a better quality product. And so I always make sure to go and check their guidelines for, the bit rate and all of the other things. And so I will tell you, I think this is where I went wrong, especially in my last course that I'm working on trying to save. The reviewer said that my audio didn't match my video. And so I went back to look at the videos, to look at the material. And it is my opinion that the audio and the video sync up just fine. But what I think they're looking at is the jump cuts, because I go through, I'm really aggressive about removing breath sounds and a noise that doesn't belong, and just making sure that I don't have anything extra in it. And I think my intro video just had too many jumps. And I think it makes it look like the video is not recorded all that well and is not synced up that well. So I can totally see where they're coming from. So what I might be able to do is to resurrect that part of the course by simply re-recording that intro, or maybe even just using the audio from that initial introduction and just laying something over the top of it so you can't actually see the changes in my face that show the jumps, because the audio is fine. So yeah, those are my strikes. One, violating the class guidelines by creating content that basically was prohibited. And that's my own fault for not going to check those guidelines. Although I do think those are updated regularly. So I don't think anybody could just assume that they have checked it and that those things haven't been updated. I would probably go, unless you are uploading like weekly, which I would recommend, it's something I need to do, is to go to the class guidelines, and the link will be down below in the description, and just check to make sure that they haven't made any changes. Again, self-promotion, just being really hands-off about trying to promote yourself in the course and in the description, and frankly even in your Skillshare profile. They don't want to see you aggressively trying to take people off of the Skillshare platform to other places, like maybe you have a paid course on Udemy. They definitely don't want to see you sending people away from Skillshare to other online learning platforms. I mean, that could just get you kicked off the whole platform, not even just a content strike, but boom, we just don't want to see you here. And in general, my recommendation to make this the easiest process possible, when you're coming up with your course, just focus on a specific skill, something that is a how-to, something that someone could come behind you and look at the video and say, okay, I can learn how to do this thing and then do it myself. It's less about providing and passing on general information, which is something I think I also struggle with. And I think going forward, I'm going to try, instead of making big, long courses that are 30 to 60 minute longs, which are great when somebody decides to consume the whole thing because you get lots of minutes consumed and get paid more. But I just think over time, Skillshare is going to become more aggressive about making sure that the courses, the videos, are focused on skills rather than general knowledge. So I'm working really hard on Skillshare right now, and I haven't posted a ton about it, but I'm hoping to be able to get some good results, and then to be able to come back here in the next few months and say, look at my progress when I finally actually got consistent again on that platform. If you are thinking about jumping into Skillshare and you have questions, let me know what they are in the comments. I'm definitely not an expert. I'm definitely stumbling and bumbling my way through this, but I think it's going to be worth it. And before I wrap up, once again, my name is Amelia. I'm working on building multiple income streams here on the internet, valuable digital assets that allow me to live my life the way I like. And if that interests you, I recommend that you go to my YouTube channel and check out the library, because I have tons of interviews, case studies, and even live streams. In fact, you should see a couple of those things on the screen right now. One of them should be a video picked out just for you, and the other will be a playlist of all the interviews that I've done in the last year with folks in our industry, some very, very, very smart people with a lot of great things to say in there.